Okay, let's talk about one of the dumbest, most evil ideas in American policy. I know, that sounds crazy. Prison occupancy guarantees. Sounds like some kind of fucking hotel term, right? Yeah, except the guests can't leave. In dozens of private prison contracts, states literally promise corporations that their cells will stay 80, 90, sometimes 100% full, or the state pays penalties for the empty beds. One review of 62 contracts found about 2/3 had these quotas, with 90% is the most common. Arizona signed deals that lock some prisons in at 100%. Oklahoma and Virginia hover in the mid-90s. In Florida, Bay Correctional Facility even has a contract where the company gets paid as if 90% of the beds are filled, explicitly regardless of the actual number of people inside. Bitch, what? So if crime drops, if judges get lighter, taxpayers still pay for the imaginary prisoners. Now, why would anyone sign this? Because private prison companies scurry up with pitch decks and spreadsheets saying, look, cheaper per bed costs. The trick is that the savings depend on volume. Research shows that when states expand private prison capacity, average sentences get a bump. One study saw about 18 extra days tacked onto sentences when private capacity doubled. Another study in Mississippi found people in private prisons serving about 90 extra days thanks to more disciplinary write-ups that delay release. Now layer that on top of who's actually getting locked up. Poor people, mostly black, brown, and indigenous, who can't afford bail or lawyers. And remember, these companies don't just run prisons anymore. They run probation, halfway houses, ankle monitors. The whole community corrections maze that can send you back to the cell for missing a meeting or a payment. That's not a side hustle, that's vertical integration. Legally, this all slides by because the contract never says lock more people up. It just says pay us anyway. Courts look at whether people get food and medical care, not whether the state signed away the financial upside of decarceration. A few states and commentators are starting to say, if anything, we should pay for fewer people coming back to prison, not for full beds. But the lockup quotas are still all over the map. So when you hear private prisons, don't just think corporations run cages. Think the government promised in writing to keep these cages full and built the rest of the system around delivering those bodies.